Today, on the Vince Everett Ellison Show, the Democratic Party has a new strategy for 2026. Lie! Yeah. We're going to talk about that strategy today on the Vince Everett Ellison Show. Let's get this thing started. Well, the Democratic Party really think you guys are stupid. I mean, they really think you guys are stupid. I was reading a Washington Post story this week, and the story talked about, let me see if I can find it real quick for y'all. Democrats, boy, them suckers. You know, how do you know a Democrat is lying? His lips are moving. That's how you know the Democrat is lying. So there was a story that came out in the Washington Post. And in this story, it says that the Democrats with an eye on 2028 reject some parts of liberal orthodoxy. So Democrats with an eye on 2028, which is the presidential election of 2028, they're going to reject some parts of liberal orthodoxy. This is the headline. Some presidential prospects have embraced Sister Souljah moments that demonstrate their independence. All right, Sister Souljah moment. Just in case y'all don't know. Bill Clinton's running for president 1991, he wins in 92. So this might be in 92, it's probably in 92. Jesse Jackson's having this thing at the Rainbow Coalition. Previously in the Bush administration, the first Bush, we had the Rodney King beating and the LA riots. But they burnt up LA. Just in case you guys don't know, Rodney King was a driver, a motorist. He got pulled over, didn't comply, and they just beat him, and it was caught on film. And so the police officers were found not guilty, and they let them all go. And the people in LA rioted and burned up the city. Sister Souljah was a little rapper back in those days. Rap music, wasn't really as influential then as it is now. But Sister Souljah was a little gangster rapper. And she was like, pro-black, black. And Sister Souljah was at the Rainbow Push Coalition thing. And Jesse Jackson was there, and Bill Clinton was there, and many other politicians were there. And Sister Souljah got up and said, instead of black people just killing black people, they should take off 1 week and kill white people. Very controversial, right? Well, Bill Clinton, nobody said anything about it until Bill Clinton got up there. And Bill Clinton got up there and basically said what she said was wrong. And this was at Jesse Jackson's event. Of course, Jesse Jackson got kind of pissed at him because he didn't like Bill Clinton contradicting anything that was said there. But white America loved it because Bill Clinton corrected her. And he stood up to Jesse Jackson and said, no, this was wrong. She shouldn't be saying that. And it kind of took Bill Clinton, and he took off. He took off. And he left everybody else behind, got the Democratic Party nomination, became president. But that's called, from then on out, it's called the Sister Souljah moment. Hope I explained that to where you can understand it. So these candidates are looking for a quote-unquote Sister Souljah moment where they are willing to stand up to the Democratic Party and say, this is some bull crap. Well, so far, nobody's been willing to do it. Everybody's been, that Disney and Pritzker money. What it is, they said, no. I'm not rocking any boats. Kamala Harris wouldn't do it. Joe Biden wouldn't do it. Anything these weirdos, malcontents, and sex fiends wanted, the candidates did. Abortion to the 9th month, you got it. Locking children in failing schools, teachers' unions, you got it. Let every illegal come over the border. I don't care if they're crazy, if they are child molesters, if they're rapists, you got it. I want fentanyl on the street killing 100,000 Americans a year. You got it. I want God pulled out the public square. Hell, man, you got it. I want men and women's sports. Got it. I want women in men's bathrooms. Got it. I want men in women's locker room walking around flipping and flopping while them little girls trying to get dressed. You got it.
Florida is really conservative. I don't know what the rules are. Trans women are allowed to be in women's bathrooms, but I'm about to go and use the bathroom because I have to tinkle. If I get stopped, I guess, but I'm a woman, so I'm going to use the women's bathroom.
Lily Tino just used a women's bathroom in Disney World and says he stood up to go pee, and he sees nothing wrong with that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, women sit down when they pee. And isn't Disney World supposed to be like the most magical, safe, happiest place on earth? I can't imagine what a teenage girl, a little girl, would feel when they see a man in the women's restroom. And have you seen Lily Tino's walk? Lily Tino literally walks like a straight up 6-foot-something man that he is. That's intimidating for girls to see in a women's restroom, okay?
Gave them everything. Nobody stood up and said, look, man, y'all need that. Come on now. So now they're looking for somebody that might give a Sister Souljah moment. So this story is by Naphtali Ben David. And this is how it starts. I'll read a couple of paragraphs to you. California Governor Gavin Newsom traveled to Tennessee to appear on a podcast hosted by Sean Ryan, a conservative, tattooed former Navy SEAL, who opened the show by handing Newsom a Sig Sauer pistol. The word is spelled Sigsaur, Sig Sauer pistol, that the Democratic governor proclaimed too cool. It's the one that Gavin dropped and said, ah! And started running. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Democrat, joined the podcast a few days later, hosted by Ted Nugent, the pro-Trump activist and one-time hard rocker, to discuss his support for allowing hunting in the Keystone State on Sundays. So Josh Shapiro said, I'll let them hunt on Sunday. All right, tough guy. Former Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel appeared on the Megyn Kelly show, hosted by a former Fox host, where he said that a man cannot become a woman. Well, Atlantic Ocean. What? That's news in the Democrat Party, y'all, that a man can't become a woman. Oh, hell, well, what the roof might cave in now. Well, he said a man cannot become a woman, and then joked that given the likely reaction of his fellow Democrats, that answer would require him to go into a witness protection plan. Now, you hear that? For all you Democrats out here? Rahm Emanuel is saying that him saying that a man cannot become a woman is going to put his life in danger in the Democratic Party, and you guys vote for that party. As prominent Democrats begin testing the waters for potential 2028 presidential runs, some have been explicitly rejecting tenets of liberal orthodoxy in high-profile ways, often in venues that might attract independent or pro-Trump listeners. The appearances come as many Democrats, especially centrists, are urging the party to embrace what they say is a key lesson from their 2024 loss to President Donald Trump, that Democrats must distance themselves from the most easily weaponized left-leaning positions, and that they must engage with podcasts, radio shows, and other media that are outside the liberal sphere. Boy, I wish one would come on my show. Because I usually don't have guests, but I'd make time for one of them suckers to come on my show. I'm going to eat their behinds up. So I'm going to say, all right, so all of a sudden you got religion, huh? Yeah, man, you know, I didn't believe that stuff. So you was lying before. Huh? Oh, you was lying. Well, no, man, I wasn't lying, but you know what? Last year you said a man could become a man, a woman could become a woman. What's changed? The science, I mean, you guys crazy science haven't changed. It was a lie then, it's a lie now, but you said it. Last year you said a baby could have aborted up to the 9th month. Now what you change? What? I mean, what's going on? Now you lost is what it is. And you lying. What, you lying then or you lying now? They are lying. They got their cocks cleaned. They've had meetings. They brought all these money people in, and they told them, look, you can either get busy living or get busy dying. We can either take your money and lie to them and win, or we can take your money and tell the truth to them and lose. What do you want to do? And then they said, let me show you how this is supposed to work. And guess what they did? They showed up a perfect example of Barack Hussein Obama in around about 2007 when he was running for president, and he ended up on being asked about gay marriage. He was at Rick Warren's church, Saddleback Church in California. And Rick Warren asked him, do you see marriage as between one man and one woman? He said, yes, marriage is between one man and one woman.
I believe that marriage is between a man and a woman. But I also detest the sort of bashing and vilifying of gays and lesbians.
Respect to gay marriage. I do not support gay marriage, but I support a very strong version of civil unions where I think the state has to recognize the same rights and responsibilities.
I believe that marriage is the union between a man and a woman.
Would you support a constitutional amendment with that definition?
No, I would not. I am not somebody who promotes same-sex marriage, but I do believe in civil unions. I do believe that we should not, that for gay partners to want to visit each other in a hospital, for the state to say, you know what, that's all right.
Everybody clap. They asked him about abortion. He says it's above my pay grade. And he got in. He's the most radical person on LGBTQ president in history and the most radical on abortion. He lied. He lied to get into the White House. And when he got to the White House, he flipped. Now, you might say, well, Barack Obama ain't the only presidential candidate that ever lied to get elected into office. And look. I know that to be true. The Democrats do it better than anybody because Republicans don't have to lie. What Republicans usually do is tell you what they want to do, and they try to do it, and they don't get enough votes to get it done. Trump tried to get Obamacare taken out. He did. He had to vote on the floor, and John McCain scuttled it. He tried to get it done. So there are things that, George H.W. Bush lied in his first term and said, read my lips, no new taxes. He wasn't going to raise taxes. He raised them, and he got kicked out of office for it. He was done. Over. So George H.W. Bush lied to get elected, and then he came in and he broke his promise, and they ran him out. So Republicans will make you, they will make you pay for it. I remember we had a congressman up here by the name of Denver Riggleman. And Denver got his seat and was feeling himself and decided, this is a very conservative area, and decided he was going to officiate a same-sex wedding. When I saw it in the paper, I said, Denver is done. Denver was primary. about Bob Good, I mean, he was done. He was gone. Presidential candidates usually, though, on the Republican side, they usually tell the truth. Then they get in the office, and we have Republicans or we have Democrats that block what their agenda is. They usually ain't going to lie to get in the office. They don't have to. Democrats have to lie. Democrats have to tell you that they, believe the marriage is between one man and one woman like Barack Obama did. And then when they tell the truth, they lose. Kamala Harris lost. Kamala Harris lost because she told the truth. She said that she would allow sex change operations, government-funded sex change operations for inmates so that men could go to women's prisons. And she was done after that. She started her campaign in an abortion clinic. She was done. So now they're going to try to pull back, y'all. They learned from stupid Kamala that Democrats can't tell the truth. They can only win when they lie. And you had Democrats watching Kamala Harris tell the truth. They were going like, and Kamala was like, what? Shh, you can't tell them what we're really going to do. So now they're coming out and they're telling you, but right now they're slipping. They got this racial gerrymandering thing going on right now. It's very, very interesting. And then they got this little thing about this little Sweeney girl that did the jeans commercial.
But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney, Hasbro King.
And I can remember about my, they raised so much hell about it, trying to say that they're all into eugenics and all this kind of mess, because the little white girl just said, I got good jeans, my eyes are blue. Well, I had my daughter send me the commercial. Actually, what I thought about it was about eugenics. I said, no, you got good genes. Don't you? And she said, yes. I said, okay. The Sweeney girl got good genes. You got good genes. What's wrong with it? Is that these people try to make everything about race. And they try to say the little white girl was a Nazi because she just said, I got good genes. Hell, I got good genes. As I said before, people say white privilege, white privilege. Yeah, it is a privilege to be white. It's a privilege to be black. It's a privilege to be Asian. It's a privilege to be Hispanic. It's a privilege to be a woman, a man. It's a privilege to be an American. But they want the race hatred, and they always look at look at. They got this racial gerrymandering. This is gerrymandering thing going on now, whether people are running out of Texas because they don't want the state of Texas to be able to do what they are lawfully obligated to do. They can change the districts if they want to. It's legal. So what happened? Democrats ran out, won't allow them to vote. Why? They cheat. That's it. They cheat. And they lie. So they're trying to get people to think that the little Sweeney girl's a Nazi because she says she got good genes. They're trying to get people to think that the Democrats are right for abandoning their responsibilities and leaving the state of Texas because they know they don't have the votes to stop the legislation. So they're going to walk up to y'all and say, y'all, man, we going to make sure the border is secure. And y'all going to believe that? They were saying the border was secure. It was like Baghdad Bob. But Mayorkas would come on Capitol Hill, and Terry Crews was just lighting the Mayorkas. It was just, and they'd have a split screen of just illegals just running across the border. And Mayorkas said, the border is secure. The border is secure. And I'm just looking at this man. He just looked like he was all be like, the border is secure. And everybody's just looking at this man and said, dude. And you're going to let these people come back in, and these very people telling you that they're going to secure the border when their very survival depends on that border being open. The very ones out who are fighting to keep illegals here and telling you, I was watching CNN, and this is our argument. Trump said he's going to get out the worst of the worst. Now he's getting out cooks and landscapers and maids. Why don't you let them stay and just get out the bad ones? These are Democrats asking you to break the law. Because the law says that if ICE finds an illegal immigrant, he's supposed to take his behind to jail. And the judge is supposed to determine what happens to him after that. They're asking the ICE agent to be arresting officer, judge, and jury, and the prosecutor. He's supposed to sit there and do all of that himself. He doesn't. No, he's not. But that's the Democratic Party. That's how they think. They're actually sitting there telling you that they want these people to break the law for them. He doesn't. Just let them go. Get the worst of the worst. Dude, you broke into the country. Every day that you're here, you're breaking the law. Trump has offered you $1,000 and a plane ticket to go back and just come back right. But the Democrats are so reprobate. And you trust these people to tell the truth? Shh. You think they're going to allow school choice? People love it. People want it. Democrats fighting against it. Don't want it. Going to do everything in their power to stop it. But they're going to tell you, well, I think that school choice makes some sense. You see how mad they got when Trump says he's going to send the National Guard into D.C. to help the police out, who are about 500 to 800 police officers short, to stop the crime? They all went crazy. This same crew, you know why? Because they want to defund the police. And you see how all of them are standing behind that Mondani guy? Look, AOC and Bernie Sanders and Nadler and all these weirdos? Because they're all socialists. He wants to defund the police, put in government-funded grocery stores. Well, I hope he do that. But they're going to rob them grocery stores blind. You know why? Because nobody own the grocery store but the government. They're going to rob that grocery store blind. They would just be picking up stuff, walking out with it. Snatching and grabbing. Think about that. You got a government-funded grocery store and no police. And you can't have no gun to protect yourself. Boy, that's gonna be a train wreck. I'm gonna send Mondani some money. I got it. I keep forgetting to put it in the mailbox. I'm gonna send that sucker some money. I'm gonna go online and get Mondani some money. I want Mondani to win, and I want New York to feel it because it's hard for me to feel sorry for somebody that brings harm to themselves. I'm gonna sit back every day with popcorn and watch New York turn into it's already almost a hellhole now. It's gonna turn into a show. I remember that movie. Escape from New York. Kurt Russell was in it, but they made the whole dang city a prison. All of New York was a prison, and somehow or another, Air Force One went down in New York City, and they had to send in Kurt Russell to go get the president and bring him out because Isaac Hayes and they had him constantly. This is the most stupid crap I've seen in my life. But that's how apocalyptic New York City was. And how we thought it was going to be back in the 70s. And now it's back there again. And these people ain't learned a freaking thing yet. Boy, I tell you what. Talking about defunding the police in New York City. Man, you know what? I just want that to happen. But this is a contempt that these people have for their own constituents. I remember when I worked in South Carolina. I was naive. And I went up to see this state senator. His name is Theo Mitchell. I think Theo's dead now. Theo went to prison. Oh, man. Theo went to prison. He was a lawyer. And they found out that Theo was taking food stamps as payment from clients. Can you imagine? I tell you what, black folks they're taking food stamps. Anyway, I digress. So I went up there to meet with Theo, talk to him about things going on in the black community. We started talking about school choice. in school choice, the first school voucher program started in Milwaukee. Polly Williams, black Democrat, actually implemented it. And we was talking to Theo about it. Theo said that he met Polly Williams and told Polly, when she started talking about how school choice, how well it had done in Milwaukee. Theo said, we told her in South Carolina, don't bring that SHIT down here. These N-words don't know how to deal with it. And I was like, what? Oh, man, these N-words too dumb to deal with stuff like that. They don't know how to make no decisions for themselves. So the more I hung out with black Democrats, I saw that they were the most racist people in the world regarding their own people. It wasn't white folks talking like this. It was them. Man, it was like when Jesse Jackson was talking about castrating Barack Obama because he was giving the N-words, talking about giving him free stuff. N-word, 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 ignorant, 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 Negro. Just, y'all, it was horrible. And it was like Theo Mitchell, Kay Patterson, Jim Clyburn, NAACP, people in the media. Because at the time, see, I was still trying to figure out what was going on. And the Democrats were trying to get me to come on their side. And I would talk to them, and you know, we sit around and talk, and we'd go to lunch together, we'd be in boardrooms. And they were just so disrespectful toward their own constituents. You know, I remember hearing Kay Patterson say, all I hear from them is saying, give me the Moist because I'm the poest. You know, we can stay elected by just giving them a handful of food stamps, y'all, and they all start laughing. You know, you don't want to give them any options. It came from this concept that W.B. Du Bois had in The Soul of Black People, his book. We talked about the talented 10th. That the most talented 10% of black Americans should be on top, and they should lead the other 90%, telling them what to do. And these people consider themselves part of that talented 10th. Now, this is communism. And white America told the black caucuses, these are your people, guide them the way that you want to guide them. And the Comintern was the communist Russian organization whose primary job was to push communism all over the world. They told their people in the civil rights movement, they gave them a directive to make the black community a direct replica of the Soviet Union. And they did it. And these members of the Black Caucus that came out of the civil rights movement activated that. And they hold the black community in contempt. Now, they'll get up on the stands and they get in front of the microphones and they'll talk about all the stuff they're doing. But behind the scenes, they hold the black community in utter contempt. And they're going to lie to you. And they're going to allow you to be used, again, as cannon fodder for the Democratic Party. They don't want Donald Trump to clean up the streets. Why? Because because if people start working and start being afraid, they won't vote for the Democratic Party. They don't want these children to get a good education. Why? Because if they get a good education, they may start reading the Constitution. They might start knowing about economics. They might get a good job. They won't vote for the Democratic Party. They don't want these young men to not go to jail. Why? Because if they stop going to jail, they're going to get married. They're going to have families. They're going to start working. They're going to not want to pay taxes. They're not going to need the handouts, the SNAP, the Section 8. Families will stay together. Their whole system will break down. In order to keep this system going, they're going to lie to you. Now, some of you don't care. You're going to vote for the Democratic Party. You know, it doesn't matter. I mean, the Democrats tell you to kill your children, you kill your children. Democrats tell you not to pray to your God, you don't pray to your God. The Democrats tell you to castrate your sons, and you're castrating your sons, okay? You'll do whatever the Democrat Party tells you to do. So I ain't talking about you. If the Democrats tell you to cut off the breasts of your little girls and call them little boys, you'll do it. Allow grown men to play in sports with your children, go into bathrooms with your daughters. Grown men to play in sports with your daughters, go into bathrooms with your daughters. You'll do it for them. I'm talking about the ones you that got some sense. The ones that voted against them the last time, and now they're going to come back and try to get your vote by lying. And I don't want you to fall for the lie. I want you to look at them and say, no dice, player. I'm done with you now and forever. Like that old song, Heat Wave, always and forever. Yeah, that's how I'm done with you. Off the plantation, never coming back. So don't you fall for the lie. They're going to come back. They're going to lie to you. They're going to tell you, I've learned my lesson. I'll be good. We're going to be more like the Republicans. Don't take that lie. Just go for the Republican. The joker said my car is more like a Cadillac. Hell, just buy the Cadillac. Don't buy his lie. They are the father of lies. They're just like their father, the devil. The evilest institution in the history of the world. The party of slavery from 1800 to 1860. The party of the Confederacy from 1800 to 1860 to 1865. The party of Jim Crow from 1865 to 1965. Perverts, liars, psychopaths, anti-Christian bigots, thugs, hoes, and rappers. Don't fall for it. Stay vigilant. Stay awake. I want you to like, and I want you to comment, and I want you to share this content. Because you know they got this algorithm thing. They always trying to stop me. People are sending me comments saying, Vince, man, you should have 1 million followers. Yes, I should. But we going to keep on bringing this message because I'm here to wake you up. Hope I did you some good here today. So come see me again for another edition of the Vince Everett Ellison Show. All right, friends, Vince Everett Ellison is here. I want you to go to my website. And on my website, you're going to see a lot of great stuff, man. You're going to see that we got T-shirts, we got caps. You got my books, my documentaries. You got all kinds of stuff on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Go there. We're dropping new T-shirts. We're dropping new merchandise. My new book, The End of Tolerance, is there. The End of Tolerance. Make sure you get it. Make it #1. If you got my first 3, get The End of Tolerance. It's just as good. And it's telling us we have to end our tolerance with these leftists, these Democrats. We no longer allow them to sexually groom our children. We can no longer allow them to castrate little boys and call them little girls, run God out of the public square, take away our guns, take away our sovereignty. No longer allow it. So go on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. That is VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Hit merchandise. You'll see the T-shirts. You'll see the caps. You'll see the books. You'll see the documentaries. You'll see it all. And let's keep this ball rolling. God bless you.